Why don't we sew a little bit of this together, just so you can see that this is not anything stressful, uh, and how you will manipulate as you go. Put your little, you know, create your little folds and swirls as you want them. And then we just sew them in. Let me bring you down so you can see better what I'm doing here. A lot of you have no problem, sewing your stuff together like this. But so many that are new to something like this, it appears to be so much harder than it really is. Okay. I'm working around that center, okay, getting it where I want it, folding if I want to fold it, leaving it raw edged if I want it raw edged. Just making those decisions as I go. And of course, as I'm sewing it, I'm catching the things around it. The important thing is to get it stitched well, not perfect, but well done in the sense that it is tight and secure. Everything is down. And I find if you just take your time, take smaller stitches, everything just turns out fine. This part kind of reminds me of hemming. Back in the days when I made garments, sewed for the family, did a lot of hemming. And I also, on this, unlike the other two quilts, I am much pickier about my threads because I am blending them more. Not just any thread will do. Unless I want a contrast, I am blending them more so that the colors and the swirls are what stand out, not the different threads. Be sure to don't sew your pins in where you can't get them out. I have done that and had to cut it out from the back side. It's very easy to do because sometimes you can't take them out yet as you're sewing around. And so just be careful that you don't sew them in and under things so that they hide, and then when you get through, you've still got pins in your artwork here. Okay. All right, I'm gonna come up over here. And I'm gonna sew a little bit. Don't do that. That means you have to take your thread all the way out and pull it through because you worked from the wrong side. And you loop it over your whole block. It just doesn't work that way. Okay, let's try that again. We will go down. I'm going to pull this one in over just a little. Okay, that helps to build the swirl and the natural look that a flower might have, two petals of a flower. Like I said, it's not actually flowers, but it ends up looking like flowers. Let's get this tacked down pretty good before we leave this area. All right. Now I'm going to go in and work the center a little. I'll take that fold that's working itself right there. Pull that pin out. The more pins you can get out, the quicker, because I don't know about you, but I have not found a way not to catch my pins. With my thread, and that's aggravating. Okay, what's going on here? Do some folds and creases and manipulate that fabric so you get texture out of it. As I said, I'm probably going to come in with a centerpiece on this one, so I'm not going to be real picky about how so that I'm just going to get it down and secure it, okay? Took him back under over there where he's supposed to be. Stay in there. Okay. I'll get to you in a minute. I can take this one out now. That one just wants to be stubborn, doesn't he? I think we're going to have to pin him down. Okay, where is that pin? We'll just stick another pin in there and keep him from flopping around. There we go. I'm going to catch the blue part here with the thread I've already got on my needle. Okay. You never know how exactly these little things are going to turn out, but they all look so pretty when they're done. Just keep working them. And try not to do that. It's aggravating. You might yank out something because you get aggravated. I love this kind of work because when I'm doing things like this, I'm very detail oriented and not perfection, detail oriented. I like to take the time to make the little folds and creases and create the texture as I go, and I just enjoy that. Now this is a little raw edge here, so you want to make sure that you get your overcast stitches in there well and keep it down. It's okay having fuzzy little fringy raw edges, that's okay, but you just want to make sure you sew them in well. Well, everything you want to sew in well, but I think you get what I mean. I think I want to tuck him under that one. And let that one come up over the top. So I'll catch it like that. Come up over on this other side. There you go. Turn it. Work from this side a little. Okay, now this one is, I think we're going to tuck him up under that one. Okay, let's cooperate. We want you to go under there. Thank you very much. Okay, and I am going to continue to use this peachy color along the edge of this white. I think it will blend in fine. Okay, believe I can take him out and work this one under there a little bit more. And when we come around to do the blue part, if I need to pull it over I can. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Okay, I'm going to slip over here, take a couple of stitches on this side, except I don't want to do it on the top side, so let me rethink that, come underneath. There we go. And just secure this down around the edges. and come back in the center and catch this. I'm probably going to pull that over, but I'm going to catch it, make sure I've got that down. That may work out where I don't have to put a centerpiece in there. Okay, I think when I pull that over and this up and in, I will not have to add any more to that. That's looking good. Let's tie it off on the back side. Okay, and we're going to change color thread here. And we'll work this blue. Okay, where's my blue thread? I think this was the color I wanted to use. So let's get some of that on the needle. I do have my fabric, my threads that I think I want to use, and I can keep putting my little squares in this and keeping it all together. Makes it easy to grab the project since I'm changing from project to project constantly. My sewing area is a mess, and I'm trying to straighten it again a little bit as I go. When you work as many scraps as I do, I have got them everywhere, all around me. I am surrounded. But you know, if I can't see it, I can't use it. That's kind of how I am. I've got to see it. Like these piles that are on my desk. I've got to see a bunch of different stuff there so I can utilize it right. Okay, let's put this thread up there, hang it on my light. Okay. Get this one in. Be sure to leave me some comments how you're enjoying these different quilts and which ones you're doing and what your progress is and any questions you might have or concerns or just anything. Just chit chat away here. I answer all comments, okay? I answer all comments, even an ugly one, which I don't get very often, so I'm really glad of that. Okay, let's go inside and get this down. Do it this way. One lady said, your thread wouldn't knot up on you and stuff so easily if you didn't use such long strands. But I tell you what, I would rather get the knot out every once in a while than have to thread a needle more than I have to already. I don't like short pieces of thread. I like longer ones that let me work a while before I have to stop and thread a needle again. You can see that I'm just taking very small stitches. That's all that I'm doing, taking small stitches. And even though you've got everything pinned, things tend to work apart and stuff. Don't worry about that. You're going to take care of all of that as you go around. And I like to work from the inside out. That way I can lay my circles and swirls from the inside out, kind of like a flower petals would be. And sometimes I jump around. If I've got like a lot of blue left here and I wanted to jump out here, you know, I can do that. That's okay too. That's no problem. And so you don't have to be too rigid with how and what order you sew things. Whatever works for you. Whatever gets the job done. Okay, now I'm going to jump out here. Going to work this under like that. That one I'm going to pull in, but I'm going to go over here right now and tack this down so that this piece quits bugging me. Okay. You know, I love every one of these 3 quilts. They're creative. They're pretty. But the real miracle is they're all made of scraps. I just love that. Scraps, a needle, and a thread. You can make wonderful things. Okay. Let's just go ahead and go around here some more. I've been overcasting. Now on this folded edge, I'm just going to do a back stitch along it. You can just go back and forth with your stitches, whatever works, whatever you want it to look like. I like changing up. I think that also, if somebody's looking at it closely, that adds interest. Let's tuck this under there. Catch it as we go. Take your needle and just push it under, and then catch the edges. Put as many stitches in it as you need. I like that gold color, so I'm going to turn that out. Open up that fold and turn that out so that I can catch that gold fabric right there. Okay. Come on around. Take this edge and pull it up under that and fold that over. There you go. Whoops, I pulled out a pen. Don't know exactly where he went, but we're going to tack him right there. Lots of pretty colors going on in it. Scarves work so good for this because so many of them are multicolored. And you get so much bang for your buck, you might say, when you purchase them because they work in so many ways. But I never purchase them full price. Believe me, they're too expensive that way. I only buy scarves when I'm thrifting. Okay, now we're going to expose that little bit of gold. That's pretty by pulling this in. Pull it in tight, there like that, so that it leaves that open. Then we'll fold that over. And lay the blue on top of the peach center. See how we're working everything and using, paying attention to our colors as we go and using them to the best advantage to get the look that we want to see. Coming along this yellow edge. The blue still works good because we're working a blue and yellow piece right here. So the blue makes sense on the yellow. Another thing I like about this is that the center circle looks different from every angle that you turn it. That's kind of neat too. When you finish quilt, no matter how you lay it out, the circles are going to look a little different each time you change direction. See. It's getting close to lunchtime here and I'm getting hungry. What are you guys having for lunch today? I made potato soup and yesterday, and we're going to have leftovers today with potato soup, and I'm going to make a pan of cornbread. My husband loves cornbread with potato soup. And we're going to have fresh strawberries and sliced bananas together with a little bit of cream on it. And let's see, I think that's it. Potato soup, cornbread, and fruit. And I'm hungry. I don't eat breakfast, so by lunchtime, I'm hungry. I just never been a breakfast person. And we've got a lot of little tiny stitches in this center area, and the center, when I start working, it always seems to require lots of little stitches. But as I work out, oftentimes my stitches will get quite a bit bigger. Not huge, I mean, they're still not big, but coming down an edge like that, I can do a back stitch and not have to be so tiny with it. But this is just, you just want it really secured really well. And getting that pattern started, everything down. It's tinier little areas. Okay, so our center part is down. See what a difference that's making from how it looks when it's loose. It's looking good and I'm loving it. I think I have a little bit left on here. I'm going to keep this because I'll probably come back and use it, but I'm going to end here. And just wanted to give you a good sense of how you might get started with this. And then I'll finish the sewing on another video for you, okay? All right, see you later. Hello and welcome. This is Linda. So glad to have you here. Are you as buried in scraps as I am these days? I hope so, because it's a happy place to be. This is our circles and swirls quilt, continuing to demonstrate this style for you. I have stitched more of this around the center, as you can see. Now I'm beginning to work my way to the outer edges. Still working a little bit on this blue here. And I think I can't really take any pins out right now, but oh, excuse me. That came out of nowhere. All right, let's see where we at. We are, put that pin in before I lose him. Right around here. We will be catching, let me bring you down so you can see me better. Okay. Again, no fancy stitching here, just simply getting it sewn down. Most of the time it's a running stitch, a back stitch, or an overcast stitch. Whatever I think will work for me better in that particular area. So you decide as you go what stitches you want to play with and use them accordingly. Okay, I'm gonna drop across here. And just catch this blue and this yellow at the same time. Excuse me for sniffing, I have allergies again. Goodness. I don't have a cold, I'm not sick, just allergies. Let's see here, let me get there we go. I believe I can take this one out. Maybe even that one. Get this little sliver of blue fabric very let's see, woven, so it's very loose weaved. But I just want a little bit of it to show like it's swirling in. Catch that last bit again. Okay, I think that will do that. I am going to tie this off. And choose another color of thread here. And I think I'm going to go with this. I think it'll work everything around the outside, and it won't have too much of a contrasting thread. Okay, getting 2 threads. Okay, let's see what we can do here with this. Get it started. Okay, I did cut it rather long, didn't I? Let's see. Have you gotten enthused over one of these quilts for 2025? If you looked at all of them, the landscape quilt is going to be beautiful. The circle and swirls is going to be beautiful. And the strings and strips is already beautiful. So it's wonderful when you get far enough along, and I am at least halfway or over on my strips and strings. So to know how that quilt is going to look, and it is going to be so gorgeous. I don't know, I'm making it for my husband, and he's just I won't say he's thrilled over it, you know how guys are sometimes. He's pleased that he's going to have his own quilt, but it's just going to be so nice for him to have something that's just very warm, but not too big and bulky. Okay, I can take this out now. I've got a little raw edge there, but I think I want to keep it because it's kind of fringy. So I think what I'm going to do is just come down that little raw edge with a little back stitch. There you go. And that will allow the little raw edge to stay there and not ravel out more. Give a little bit of texture. It's so much fun. It's all with scraps of scarf fabrics and other fancy fabrics that you might have that are silky and soft and very pliable, so that you can manipulate them, twist them and turn them and things like that. You could do this with cottons, but it's harder to manipulate the fabric. It's not impossible at all. It can be done, but it's just I love the look and feel of the different fabrics here. Okay, let's go up and decide how we want this to lay. And I think about like that is going to do it. So let's go up and make it stay there, okay, by sewing it in. I think I would pull that out just a little bit. There we go. I just love these fabrics because when you get to this point, they are just, you can work with them so well, push and pull them to make the swirls and designs that you want to make. That is important for this particular design. It circles because the overall is a circle, but it swirls because we do want this fabric to play in and out of each other, and you can see that it's doing that well. Let's see here. Bring it all the way out here to the edge. Then I'm going to turn it. The key to this, to me, is taking tiny stitches, okay? On my other quilts, you'll see that I take pretty large stitches, but on this, it's tinier stitches. And it's easier because the needle goes through these fabrics really easy, where they don't glide through several layers of cotton that easily. But these silky, lightly woven fabrics, they do. So you can just manipulate them so well. Okay, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Laid in there good. All right, I'm gonna go out and get this outer edge started out here. let's just I think we'll do a little bit of a diagonal whip stitch here. There you go. Another thing that I like about these quilts is that as simple as the stitching is, anyone can do this, that even if they don't have a lot of experience or anything. There's no sewing machine, it's all hand done, but it's just simple stitches, so anyone can pick up a needle and thread and do this. Now, arranging the circles may take a little bit of fiddling, but just keep at it till you get it like you want it, and don't give up. You'll get better and better with every block, and it'll get faster too. Okay, we have another little raw edge here, so we're going to take the time to come down that. And just secure it. Okay, let's see, we have one right here, so let's just keep going over, catch that one while we're here. When you twist and turn these fabrics, you get folds and raw edges, and that's exactly what you want to work with because it gives you all this interest. Come up, catch a little bit of that yellow because it's right on it. That way I can pull this pin out. And then work our way back out to the other color. It's okay to have a little puffiness, a little bit of rise in some of the fabrics, but don't overdo it because that tends, if you have it too much, that tends to catch and pull when people are using it. And, you don't want that. A little bit is great, but not too much. I'm going to come back up here. And sew this fold down. This is another easy quilt if you're a commuter or you travel a lot, or if you have a lot of doctor's appointments and things where you're sitting around waiting. You make up your little blocks, put them in a bag with a needle and some thread, and then whip one out and sew on it wherever you're at. It's just a small little project you can work on, one block at a time. Several ladies have said they're going to make all of these quilts. Some have said they're going to just make one. Some have said they're going to improvise them, do something different, but with the same idea. So whatever works for you, that's my whole aim. It's not that you have to do exactly what I do, but to inspire you to do your own thing creatively. I'm going to have to tie that up because I am going to run out. Well, that's just what I didn't want to do. Looped it and then unlooped it. You ever do that? Okay. Got through that one. Isn't it looking nice? I like the way it's looking. I think I can take this pin out now. And I could probably take this one out. Okay, it's coming in there. Let's get another one. I love watching that swirl at the bottom of that thread. It doesn't take much to entertain me, does it? Okay, here we go again. We left off here, but we have this part here to go back and pick up. The outside. And again, we're just doing a little whip stitch at a kind of a diagonal. Taking a stitch and then going back halfway and connecting it to the back side. There you go. Won't you be proud when you finish a quilt like this and every stitch is handmade? What an adventure and what an accomplishment. If you ever get bitten by the love of hand stitching, you will have a companion for the rest of your life. There's no end to the things you can do. I think that's why the slow stitching movement caught on so well, people missed the connection they made with cloth, needle, and thread, just hand stitching. You know, I've used a sewing machine for years. I'm not saying that that's not a good thing too, but I don't enjoy it like I do hand stitching. When you look at something like this and you think that's just torn pieces of scarves, you know, that were sitting in my drawer, never used for years, or that I bought for $1, thrifting. All this fabric, beautiful fabric, we're putting it to use. And we're going to end up with such a beautiful quilt. Okay, we're going to manipulate that like that, pull that little, tuck that little end in. Sew it in good. Okay. You can also use your needle. Don't forget, your needle is so good when you want to just turn under something. When those who have been appliquing for a long time, needle turn applique, they'll use their needles like that, and it's just a great way to get that fabric to do what you want it to do. Let that uncurl itself a little bit. You just take it and work at the fabric under, and it'll do it for you. Real easy. Just a little bit at a time, not a big long stretch of it. It's a little fabric at a time. Looking good, looking good. I'm loving it. It's going to make a great companion for the other one that I've got completed. Okay. We need to go to the other side and complete that. So let me tie it off over here. Got enough thread, we can go on the other side with it. Okay, all right. Hope I don't bore you guys to death. I just meander around and yap, 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 not say anything really important. All right, we got that. We need to go over here and pick up this color right there. We've got it swirled in right there. Start getting it down. Get a couple of stitches in there. We can take that pin out. Work that area better. Ouch. Stuck myself with the needle. Now what I'm going to do is probably tuck that in and cover it. Okay, so we'll leave that little bit there. And we'll just do us a little stitching along the center here. It's just a little piece. Keep it in. We'll go ahead and come up here to the outside. Do our little whip stitch thing. I don't want to catch that yellow. I can't tell you how relaxing this is. It's just very, very relaxing. Little raw edge here. I didn't back stitch it. I'm still whip stitching it. I kind of like the way the stitches show, because they show on that part really well. And I thought that would look better than just a straight line across there, because they show so well. So you make those little choices intuitively as you go along. It's part of slow stitching. You know, your destination is to sew these circles and swirls down, but your choices as you go along, it was what makes it so adventurous. There's no set pattern or absolute law that says you have to do it a certain way. Okay, we got the outside there. We have this little part here that's puffy. That's too much puffy, so we're going to lay it down. Okay. I'm going to come in here. And right on that edge, do my little back stitch. One lady, I have quite a few people who email me. I guess they don't like public comments, but she said, I didn't know you could make a little stitch. Because all my stitches are usually pretty good sized, and definitely they are in my other scrappy quilts. I never cease to amaze you. I'm going to push that under there, and so I'll catch that little bitty end right there. And I think I've come to the end of my orange color, and I really need to switch to the gold for the yellow. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? I'm going to have to come, this is still a little too puffy. I'm going to have to come back in there when I get through with the other. It looks quite a bit different after it's sewn than when it's just pinned, you know. But this one's coming along and getting the look of this one. You know, working out a scrap pile using different pieces, get totally different blocks out of it. All right, we need to put our pink away. Grab our gold. And I think I don't want the bright gold. I think I want the dull gold. That one doesn't want to unravel. All right, let's do it from the other end. One way or another, we'll get it unraveled. We're just about to be at the end of that one. It's a pretty long piece, but I'm going to leave it that way and see if I can work with it, because that would be nice. Okay, just 2 threads. I just want 2 threads. Thank you very much. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is end this video here. Otherwise, it's going to be super long. And in the next video, I will be finishing this and also doing the sashing and connecting the 2 squares that I have, okay, and showing you that. Let's put all my extra threads, I hang them over my light, make them easy to get to, okay. So until next time, let's stay very, very scrap happy.